Hi, fourth grade. We are going to talk about your essential question and your vocabulary for the week. So, this essential question actually goes along with perfectly with where we're at right now. I know that we're all at home, and the only way that we could do that is with technology. So, our essential question for the week is: how do inventions and technology affect your life? This should be something that you guys should know a whole lot about. We've been having to use so much technology this year in order to make sure that we're all learning and getting through. So, this is going to be something that we will have lots to talk about with. So, with the essential question, you guys are going to think about different inventions, different technology, what you think you could invent that might help, maybe something you could invent that might help with remote learning. I think that you guys are all super bright and you could probably come up with all sorts of things to help us with remote learning. So, we're going to watch a short little intro video first, and then we'll talk from there.
How do inventions and technology affect your life? Technology helps us go places. This racer's artificial leg lets him run quickly and efficiently. Technology helps us navigate. Devices that use the Global Positioning System, or GPS, suggest the quickest way to get somewhere, whether you are driving or using your feet. Smartphones use GPS too, but they can also take us places without us moving an inch. Through the internet, they can take us anywhere, virtually. Computers and tablets are forms of technology that allow us to access information and media quickly. With technology, the power to go places is right at our fingertips.
So, when we talk about technology, it's not necessarily just electronics. I know that when I think technology, a lot of times I think phones and computers and tablets and all sorts of stuff, but you can see in there other forms of technology are like prosthetic legs that help that man run. So, we're going to listen to a short little story about our essential question.
Goodbye, Icebox. Sally, Mother cried, are you actually hugging the icebox? 9-year-old Sally Kent was, indeed, reaching her arms around the family's old icebox. It won't be here when I get home, Sally said. I don't think I'll love the new refrigerator nearly as much as I love this old thing. Mother laughed and sent Sally out the door and on her way to school. At noon, Sally's father answered a knock at the door. Mr. Kent, said the delivery man, we've got your new refrigerator on the truck, and she's a real beauty, too. Mr. Kent directed the men to the kitchen. We'll get this old box out of here first, said the delivery man. They lifted the icebox and carried it out to be hauled away. They put the new refrigerator on a wheeled cart and rolled it into place. There you go, said the delivery man as he plugged the heavy electric plug into an outlet. The compressor on top of the refrigerator began to hum. That's the sound of progress, said Mr. Kent to his wife. Give it a few hours to cool, the delivery man instructed. The Kents thanked the man and they left. Where is it? Sally burst through the door, dropped her books on a chair, and made a mad dash to the kitchen, stopping when she reached the gleaming white refrigerator. Reaching out to touch the chrome latch, Sally jumped when the compressor kicked on again and began to hum. Did I break it? She asked. No, said Mother. Open the door and see for yourself. Sally opened the door and felt a rush of cool air on her face. I love it, she said. It's so modern. This is the future, said Mr. Kent, patting the refrigerator. You're looking at the future right now. But Sally knew that, just like the old icebox, this refrigerator would one day be outdated and replaced by something even more modern. She wondered what refrigerators in the future would look like.
So, going along with this essential question, we are also going to be talking about the genre of historical fiction. So, if you guys didn't notice, um, in this story that you guys just listened to, it was not set in our time. It was set in the past. A long time ago, ice boxes were like refrigerators, except they weren't electric. Like our refrigerators get plugged in an ice box. They actually put a slab of ice to keep things cold in there. And obviously, that ice would not stay frozen forever. So that was a much different way of trying to keep things cold. So this new invention of the refrigerator, you can see in the bottom picture, it looks a little bit different than our refrigerators now. But that was an electric way of keeping things cold. So when we talk about historical fiction, it's going to be set in the past. And there's going to be realistic things that are happening, but the stories aren't necessarily true or actually happened. It could just be set in a time period and these things could have happened. So it's kind of more like historical, realistic fiction, as we've talked about before. The last part of our video, we're going to talk about our vocab words for the week. So let's go through them. Let's start with our first word is squirmed. An example, the pig wiggled and squirmed in the girl's arms. If something is squirming, it's turning and twisting. So there's an old saying, people call people squirmy worms, just kind of moving around and not staying still. Sometimes animals squirm in your arms if they don't want you to hold them, or different things like that, just kind of moving around. Our next word is engineering. Engineering is the work that uses scientific knowledge for practical things such as building bridges and dams. So when we talk about engineering, that is making these inventions like bridges possible. So engineer is a profession that you can go into. There's all sorts of different types of engineering. But when you think about engineering, you're using the scientific knowledge and practical ways to try to make things more usable. Our next word is directing. So example here, the police officers are directing traffic. When you are directing something, you're giving instructions, ordering, or commanding. As we talked about with drama, there's directors who give instructions to the actors and actresses, but you can also be directing, like your teacher could be directing you in different subjects. So all sorts of people can be directing or directors, not just in the theater. Our next word is tinkering. When you are tinkering with somebody or something, you're puttering or keeping busy in an aimless way. So you're not really having like a goal. You're just kind of messing around with something if you're tinkering. So let's watch this video real quick.
Tinkering. Tinkering is puttering or keeping busy in an aimless way.
So you might be going through something and trying to fix it, but not really having like a set plan. That's when you're tinkering. Next word is decade. A decade means a period of 10 years. So examples here is the company celebrated a decade of business honoring 10 years of work. So when you think the word decade, it's talking about a period of 10 years. So a decade ago would be 2011. Oh my goodness, that makes Miss Reader feel old. Next word is scouted. If something is scouted, it's picked out while you're looking around. So the boy used the binoculars as he scouted the best place to find whales. So you're looking for something. Scouted means to have looked at or explored in order to find out and bring back more information. So you might scout out a place to sit at the movie theater when we could go to movie theaters. I need that to come back. You might scout out a place to sit when you walk into the movie theater, or if you're at a park, you might scout out a place to play. So scouting means just to kind of look around for a specific spot. or specific something. Technology, we talked about this. Technology is the use of science for practical purposes, especially in engineering and industry. So in the early 1900s, the telephone was considered new technology. Can you imagine trying to lug this around? It's not like our cell phones, is it? So this was a very, very old first kinds of telephones. So you can see how technology changes, but back then this was something brand new and something very cool. This would be like you getting the newest iPhone if you had something like this. And our last word is gleaming. If something it is gleaming, it's shining or glowing. So you can see here the shiny bar of gold lay gleaming on the red velvet, which means it was just shining. So those are our vocab words for the week. Let's go through them one more time. I want you to repeat after me after I say them. Squirmed, engineering, directing, tinkering, decade, scouted, technology, and gleaming. All right, fourth grade, that is all I've got for you today. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you comment or get a hold of your teachers. But we are going to have a great week talking about that essential question of technology and inventions and also historical fiction.